Shane, thanks for joining us, man. It's pretty awesome that you could take the time out and miss out on seeing Star Wars tonight. I appreciate it.
No trouble at all, mate. I'll give it a good go tomorrow. So yeah, no, definitely. There's been some mixed reviews, so I'm interested to form an opinion myself of the flick. So see how we go. It's pretty awesome actually. Our record's out a day after the movie. So yeah, nice and close. A lot of good stuff happening, mate. So
was that timed?
No, it was not intentional. It was just sort of, I guess we're approaching the end of the year. We're talking to our label about, when we could do the record, and there's a few other releases happening on the label around this time of the year, and I guess it just worked out that the 15th was the way to go.
The force is with you, man.
That's it, man. The force is with us for sure. Heck yeah, man.
Well, of course, man, your band, For All Eternity, are about to drop your new album, The Will to Rebuild, tomorrow,
That's
which
right.
by the time this is up, it'll be
out. Yeah, it'll be up in a few hours, which is awesome, man. Comes out at midnight, so very exciting times. Super stoked to have it out, man. It's been a long time coming. So
technically number 3 or 4 for you guys?
In terms of releases, it's number 4.
Yeah.
We did way back in early days. We did a 5-track demo or EP, whatever you want to call it. We self-released that in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. Geez, that's a while ago. But this is our third full-length studio album. So, mate, very fortunate to be doing music after such a great run, and releasing music's such a joy of mine. And the band, we just really. Putting out a new record is such an exciting thing for us to do. So, mate, it's just as special, even the third time around.
Did you feel a bit more pressure this time around?
I guess in a sense, yes, because I felt pressure, and I felt probably a bit more anxious about the whole process, just because I guess our following and people who listen to our music and follow our band have come to sort of expect a certain brand of music from us and a certain style. That's very melodic and very guitar driven, whereas this new record is a bit of a departure from what we've done previously. It's much more, I guess it's just a much bigger production as a whole. There's not so much focus on a riff per se, but there's a grander overlook on the whole record in terms of the production, in terms of the vocals, in terms of not just hey, I'm going to write a riff and you're going to sing along to it or scream along to it, but every single instrument and every single sound is accounted for and intended. So it's definitely a different sound for us. So yeah, I guess there was quite a bit of pressure in the sense that we knew that we wanted to nail down a different sort of sound. But coming out the other end, mate, the record's out tomorrow, and I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised.
Definitely, it's a killer album, man. I was cranking it on the way to work this morning, and
fantastic! Thanks, man.
Definitely, it's very diverse, and it's got a perfect balance between light and dark. It really sounds like you've dug pretty deep lyrically as well.
Absolutely.
Where are we drawing from this time? Where's the influence?
Well, mate, the lyrics are deeply personal for me. I had a pretty difficult year last year in 2016, and I guess in the past, we've drawn lyrics from hypotheticals and I guess places of just wanting to be uplifting and wanting to be positive. This record is inherently darker lyrically, just because I've taken a really personal angle with the content, and mate, it's very deeply personal, and the direction that I went, not only lyrically but vocally as well, is very emotive, and I guess not only the content but the performance of the content as well is very emotionally driven. So yeah, definitely a new sort of angle for our band that people have never seen before. And
as for the album cover, that's I haven't seen anything like that before, man. It's like suspended glass or crystal heart. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes. So interestingly, our last album, Metanoia, the album cover was actually a planetary heart. So I guess it was a planet that was shaped like a heart, and it had an ecosystem, it was living, it was breathing. And by definition, the word metanoia is a transformative change of heart. And the corresponding album artwork was this living organism, this heart that was just inhabited, and it was thriving, and it was ever changing, and always just just pushing forward, and what's the term that you use? It's completely always transforming, completely always just a living, breathing thing. And I guess the super contrast from the last record to this one, that I guess is paired with the changing of content from the band, is that this new album cover is really cold and rigid, and obviously it's actually the same heart, except this time around it's a shattered object that has been been pieced back together in its best way possible. But it is a suspended artwork. Actually, what's really amazing about the artwork is we worked with this guy by the name of Michael DeLeonardo. He's a 3D imager out of Canada, and we worked with him on the last record. It came from the idea for this. And truth be told, mate, the revision process for the artwork was massively extensive. It took us 12 months to really nail the vision for the artwork. And basically, like what you said, mate, it's a suspended crystal heart that has been broken but pieced back together. But it's actually a perspective-based artwork. So something really amazing about it is the perspective of the album cover is front on, and you're looking at it front on. You can see the heart all pieced together. But throughout the booklet, as well as throughout the different content we've released online, you can see that in actual fact, if you look at the heart from any other perspective, it's actually still strewn across a space and all in pieces and completely apart. So there's a really great double meaning in that. And obviously the artwork is still very beautiful in its nature. But yeah, mate, no, very, very, very deep imagery that corresponds with very deep lyrics on the new record. So
that's unreal, man. As I said, man, I've never seen anything quite like it.
Well, that's it, man. I mean, there's I guess there's things you come to expect in terms of not only just music but artwork as well. And in a way, the way I mean, just in terms of designs, we're talking not only album artwork, we're talking merchandise, and we're talking flyers, and everything's become really simplistic. And our artwork is simplistic, but very complex at the same time. It's a bit of a curveball, I think. But yeah, no, we definitely strive to have something completely unique and something that would just. I mean, I personally think it's something that just catches your eye, and you just think to yourself, "What am I looking at?" Like it really makes you feel like that.
Absolutely,
yeah.
And of course, I mean, you guys have been together for quite a while now and have done some pretty amazing supports and tours. I mean, what's been the proudest moment for you guys so far? Because you've not just toured here, you've overseas and stuff too.
Yeah, that's right. The proudest moment. Oh man, that's tough. I'll recollect on. I mean, a real proud moment would have been when we signed to our record label, Face Down Records. I've been following the label for years and years just as a fan, and really had some great influence from some of the artists on their roster over the years, and to eventually become one of the newest bands in their roster. And something really amazing. We did our record. The last record was our debut release for the label, and probably the proudest moment now that I'm thinking about it is definitely the fact that our record was the second highest selling debut album that the label has had in the label's entire 20-year history, which is amazing. We're talking debut albums from some incredible bands that have been forged on Face Down Records. And one of the most fun experiences was probably Warped Tour in Australia. It was only a once-off. I didn't think it panned out in the end, but we got to play with one of two bands to open the Sydney Warped Tour at Barangaroo. And because we were on the first one of the first bands to play in the day, it turned out that we were one of the first bands to play on a Warped Tour stage in Sydney for something like 11 years. and it was absolutely bonkers, man. There was thousands of people there, and it was just one of the most fun gigs ever. It was so cool, yeah.
Oh man, it's so many good memories, but I mean, so many to look forward to as well. I mean, sounds like 2018 is going to be awesome.
Yeah, no, that's right. Well, I mean, the new record coming out, from all accounts so far, people have responded really, really positively to the change of style and, the different content from us. And, with changing up styles and with changing up, I guess, how our band sounds at its very core, obviously there's a lot of things to be concerned about, but at the same time, there's a lot of great opportunity that can come from that. Open ourselves up to new markets and new people who maybe previously didn't like what our band was like or what we sounded like or something like that. But, mate, I can say that, I've had mates reach out to me, people that I'm just mates with, and say, man, I want to say this to you now, and I've never really wanted to say it to you before, but I've never really been a fan of your band, and they're like, I've never really enjoyed heavy music at all. These are people that are just outside of our genre altogether, but they've just come to me and said, mate, this new stuff that you're putting out is just absolutely unreal, and I can't get it out of my head, which is so cool for me to be seeing. And yeah, obviously, with the new year just around the corner, yeah, mate. I mean, we're really hoping that things will start to fall into place in terms of more touring and more opportunities like that. We've got some shows announced in New South Wales within Heart's Wake for January, which should be really fun. It should be really awesome. And then we're going to look at doing some more touring a little later in the year. Maybe mid-year we might do an Australian tour and maybe even do a US tour, mate, just depending on what sort of opportunities cross our desk.
And I'm guessing Queensland will be in there somewhere?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we love playing Queensland, dude. We did a tour last year. We played at, I believe it was the Foundry in Fortitude Valley, or the Fort, somewhere in that sort of realm. But, man, it was so much fun. Every time we play in Brisbane, man, it's just bonkers. So always stoked to come back and play there, dude. Always.
Do you get down to the Gold Coast much? Do you guys ever play?
The Goldie.
Yeah,
we've played a few shows there, man, but nothing super extensive. I could probably recall 2 gigs we've played there. No, the Gold Coast is rad, man. One of my best mates lives on the Gold Coast, and I frequently visit him. Well, it's a lot less frequent these days, mate. I definitely always try and get up there to visit him and spend some time on the Gold Coast, mate. It's beautiful there. Absolutely love it. Is that where you're from?
That's where I'm at, man.
Mate,
yeah.
You are living in an oasis, mate.
Oh, it's not bad where I am.
It's not bad. Says the bloke who's probably just wakes up and walks down to the beach and has a bit of a swim,
No, man. No, I'm in the birds, mate. I'm in the birds.
Oh, that's it. Still, man. Very, very nice. Very clean, actually. If there's something to take away, the Gold Coast is very clean. Very polite people, too, which is really nice.
Dude, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, and, keep in touch. All the best with the release tomorrow. I know it's going to explode everywhere all over the internet. It's going to be a big day for you. So, and I wish you and the boys a good Christmas and New Year, and go see Star Wars.
Yeah, we'll do, mate. Thank you very much, and you take care of yourself, mate. And anyone out there listening, mate, the new record's out December 15th. So, yeah, check it out. Thank you.